Wonderful.
Great. Okay, so I'm going to start sharing my screen. Just let me know if you can't see. Here we go. All right. Right, so today I thought I'd have a look at, or just teach a little bit on how to use the free marketing tools that are available out there at the moment, especially since everybody's a little bit cash strapped. This is a good way to at least make a start, or if you've fallen a bit behind with your marketing, maybe just to get back into the groove of things again. So if I can just introduce myself and my company just briefly. So Chanre Marketing and Promotions was founded in 2010. So we've been running for about 10 years now. And what we do is we fulfill the role of your company's outsourced marketing department. Now, how we do this is we provide a set of digital marketing services that are available to your company. And at the moment, we manage a portfolio of around 25 to 30 clients on a monthly basis. And then myself, I'm Chanre Williams, and I'm the founder of Chanre Marketing and Promotions. I'm a BCom graduate from the University of Stellenbosch, and my initial marketing experience started way back when I lived in the UK. And now my current experience in South Africa expands for about 10 years now. So, to get into the swing of things, the first thing that you need to know about marketing your business is that your marketing should be structured so that it can form part of a holistic plan. Your marketing tools should essentially work together, and they should be used together so that you can have a complete marketing plan available so that you can reach more people and to build your brand. So there are 4 main components that your marketing plan should include, and that's your brand, firstly. That would be your logo. So you need to put some thought into your logo, what it's going to look like, what colors you're going to use, how will it explain your business, and how that will incorporate in step 2, which is your corporate image. Now, everything that you do in terms of your brand and your corporate image needs to explain what you represent. Visually, it should explain what you represent in the business and what you stand for, or what your business stands for. Then you start building trust with your business, in your brand. Now, how do you build trust in your brand? By being consistent. You need to be consistent with your marketing, with your planning, with what you put out there, so that people know that you are around, you are still around, you're still going to be there, and you're going to be able to provide the service when you say you're going to provide the service. So you need to build that trust in your brand. That takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. So you're going to have to put in that groundwork in order for that trust to be built. And then, of course, the 4th step in your marketing would be generating leads or inquiries. So your ads that you create need to have a specific call to action. Your clients, your prospects need to know how they can get a hold of you, how they can buy a product, where they need to go, or who they can call or email, or what your website would be. Is there a contact form on your website? These are all things that you need to consider. You just need to keep that in mind as well. Before we continue, I just want to see if there's the other participants. I just want to make sure. Okay. This is, I'm just navigating between the controls before I go into the next step. So let me come here. Let me just see how to go to the main screen. Okay.
you.
Can you hear me?
I can still hear you. Yes. Yes.
Okay,
I'm listening.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so let's get started with some of the free platforms. So the first thing you need to keep in mind, this is going to be a part of your marketing campaign that you're going to use regularly. This is, of course, sending emails. Emails is, of course, the first, and we all know, a free platform that you can send to your database. Now, firstly, a lot of companies don't even save their email addresses. Now, this is the sad part. If you don't keep your clients' email addresses or your prospects' email addresses, how are you going to remind them who you are? Are you just hoping that they're going to remember you 6 months down the line, 12 months down the line? If you don't remind them that you're still there, then you could have lost a possible sale or a possible client. So that is something you need to keep in mind. Now, these email addresses you can extract if you already have started using or contacting prospects. You can extract them from Outlook, even your cell phone. A lot of people have the email addresses on their cell phone. From WhatsApp, for example, maybe someone has sent you an email address, your accounting system, you would have saved email addresses there, so you can grab those too. Business cards you got in the past from people who were interested in your services, and social media, of course, whenever anyone sends you an email address, save it. Now, it's a good idea to use a professional and compliant email platform. Yeah, for some of them you need to pay, but there are free platforms that you can use. You can create eye-catching, informative messages, and you can have an unsubscribe button on those messages. Now, it's very important to have an unsubscribe function on your email newsletters because you won't be compliant if you don't. You need to give people an option to opt out of getting your emails. Now, if you have an email platform where it has the unsubscribe button, the person will automatically be removed from your mailing list and you won't send to them again, even if you upload your mailing list again. So this is where you're going to capture all of your contact email addresses. And this will be a good start or a good place where you can actually capture these emails and make sure that in future you will always have them. So the email platform that is free to use is called Mailchimp.com. Now, Mailchimp allows you to email your customers up to 1,000 email addresses for free. So if you have under 1,000 email addresses, this is a good place to start. You can email your entire database. Just make sure that you complete all the information in your profile section. And once you've completed all the information in your profile section, that information will go into the footer of every email that you send out. You don't have to every time update, include that in the bottom of your emailer. The standard functions like your unsubscribe button or your address, which is also another compliant factor, will be in the bottom of your email. So, like I mentioned in the previous slide, you need to have your email list. So start with compiling your email list in Excel. Have specific columns. Include the company name where you can, if possible, if necessary. If there isn't, you start with name and surname. If you have phone numbers, capture that so that you have it. Maybe at a later stage you want to do SMS marketing, then you have your database ready. Your emails, of course, most important, addresses and leads. So if you want to remember or know where you capture a specific lead from, then have a column for that so that you always know where you got them. Now, in MailChimp, you have the option to either import or to copy and paste your spreadsheet. Now, I find that it's much easier to copy and paste the spreadsheet into MailChimp because when you import, you must have the correct formatting and you must have the correct columns in the right, it needs to be perfect, basically. But if you copy and paste, you will copy your columns exactly as they are, and you can map those fields. So the next step You would then create your campaign and you can design your emails. Now with MailChimp, you get free templates. So you can choose any of the free templates and you can just change the colors and the images and the text from there. So you don't have to do any designing. That's quite nice. Once you've chosen your style, you can start inserting your content. So for example, we choose this style over here. You create your campaign with whether it's a newsletter, event, etc. You create one that is relevant to your business and then you can edit it. Now there are different features here where you can actually include that into your emailer, even in the standard design or the standard template that they've given you. So you can insert extra images, buttons, dividers, text, whatever it may be. All you need to do is just click and drag it into your email. Okay. I won't spend too much time on this, but it's quite a nice feature. Okay, so your ultimate free marketing tools, of course, are your social media. Now you have your social media platforms, the most popular ones, starting with Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and I've listed YouTube because it's a free platform. I won't go into much detail with that, but we're going to focus on the first three. Now, why are these great marketing tools? Because if we have a look of the number of social media users on Facebook, just in South Africa alone, there are just over 24 million users in South Africa. So that's quite a broad base. You can actually reach people that are relevant to your business based on certain targeting algorithms that Facebook has put in place. You can do the same on Instagram. Instagram has just over 5 million users currently. Messenger, which is a part of Facebook, just over 21 million, just under 22 million. And then of course, LinkedIn, which is a more professional company business-based platform, has just over 8 million users. So there's a lot of potential in terms of reach when it comes to your social media, namely Facebook, of course. Okay, so if we start off with Facebook, now you have a Facebook page. Of course, you can create a Facebook page. That is the first thing that you should be doing if you have a business. Once you create your Facebook page, start inviting your friends, clients to like your page so that you can build your following. If you wanted to, you can buy likes, but as we're starting off for free, start inviting people, share your page, and get people to follow you. Now you want to post daily. Now when you're posting daily, you want to include informative, funny, and inspirational posts along with your ads. You don't want to just go publishing ads every single day. When you do that, you're going to lose your followers, especially the ones that you're trying to build organically. You don't want to lose any followers. You want to rather gain followers. So if you include some interesting information that's relevant to your brand, you can get people to share those posts, and consequently they could like your page. Or people who like your page, you can also invite them. People who like your post, you can also invite them to like your page. So it takes a bit of time to do these things, but it's good to build a foundation on your Facebook page. Now, I normally try to suggest about 2 ads per week. So plan ahead, decide what ads you're going to post for that week so that you know that it's relevant to what you're doing or to what people might be wanting to see at that point in time. Now, if you are creating ads, especially on social media, you want to have attractive images for your ads. So you could either take your own photos, that is obviously if you're using your phone or your own camera, that is a free way to get your own adverts, taking pictures of your products, against beautiful backgrounds, or pictures of your business, or maybe you'd like to be the ambassador for your business. So you would then take pictures of yourself in your business, maybe using your service, whatever that may be. If you don't have that option, you could find stock photos. Now, free places where you can find stock photos, especially ones that are copyright free and royalty free, are pixabay.com and freeimages.com. Pixabay has a range of beautiful images, and you can select whatever category it is or keywords, and you'll find images that are relevant. These are examples on the right-hand side of images that we found on Pixabay that we created our adverts with. Okay, so once you've created your posts, you've started getting your page out there, start joining groups as your page. So you can find relevant groups where you would like to share your posts to. Now, those groups need to be relevant to your brand. So if you're in business, you're going to join business groups. If you're in fashion, you're going to join style groups. Or if you may be selling computers or earphones, whatever technical goodies, you join a science and tech group. But there are lots of groups on Facebook. So you can search, find, and join. Make sure you do take note of the rules of each specific group for sharing. You don't want to share too much. Maybe, for example, if you posted those 2 ads, you're going to take each ad and post it to each group once in that week. You don't want to share too much. Some groups are very strict and they might ban you. So just be aware of the group rules that you join. Follow the rules. Sharing to groups is free, so you can actually gain more reach. Your ad can get to be seen by more people, and that way you could get more connections. Okay, you will also share to your own timeline, of course. So from your business page, you can share your post to your own timeline. If you have potential customers on your personal profile, that's a good idea to do so. Okay. Right, so the next platform, of course, is Instagram. Instagram, create a page for your business specifically. You can actually convert your profile in the settings feature to a business profile. Now, when you have a business profile, you'll be able to see more insights, more information on the reach on each of your posts. So you'll have more information as to which posts are doing better than others. Make it more personal though. If you have the type of brand or business that is more people orientated, include your team or people you do business with if you can. Otherwise, if it's more product-based when it comes to what you're selling, create a consistent look that is pleasing to the eye so that there is some sort of cohesion when someone goes onto your Instagram page's profile. Now, here also, you'll need to post regularly. Create content that is interesting and then post it as often as you can. Also use the stories platform and post to stories whenever you can, because that will also gain more interest and more reach in terms of your Instagram profile. Okay, moving on to LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, you can set up your own personal profile and a company page. Now, these are 2 separate pages, quite similar to Facebook, but it's a more business professional type of platform. When you set up your personal profile, make sure you complete all the information like your description, your job experience, education, any products or services that you provide. The reason for this is if you have a more complete profile, you'll be found more often. You'll be invited to, people will want to connect with you, which is something that is more favorable in terms of instead of you inviting connections, people are inviting you. So your connection profile will grow quite easily and quickly when you have a complete profile. Include an image of yourself. Try to have a more recent picture of yourself and more real images. I find that many people don't really they put maybe over photoshopped images of themselves, and it doesn't quite portray who they are. So keep that in mind. You want to be as real as possible so that you can possibly in future sell to your prospects. Now, when you're completing your profile, LinkedIn will give you a score as a percentage, as a guideline to show you what you still need to complete. So that's actually quite a nice feature. Okay, then going onto your page, so your LinkedIn page, you'll create a company page that would be separate from your business page, now from your personal page, because you can see analytics and information about your posts, who it's reaching. You can invite people to follow your page. Similar to Facebook, you'll also post regularly on LinkedIn. Post information that is relevant and that adds and create ads for brand awareness and then create credibility for your business. So you want to create a credible impression of your business on LinkedIn. You want to keep your brand consistent and establish what your brand represents and what it does for the client. That is what you will showcase and do on your LinkedIn company page. Now, there's a new free tool on LinkedIn where you can actually invite people quite easily, give you about 100 credits a month for free, and you can just tick on the names of your connections. So the more connections you have in your personal profile, the more people you'll be able to invite to your company page, which is why the two tie in hand. So you can invite many people, or as many people as you want, up to 100 of course, and invite them. And you can do this on a regular basis every month. This is quite a nice, easy free tool that makes sharing your page or inviting people to connect to your page much easier. Okay, then I just want to touch briefly on YouTube. YouTube, it's more popular, of course, in the American sense. More South Africans are finding themselves on YouTube lately, because anyone can create a video on their phone and upload it to YouTube quite easily. You do want to make sure that when you do create videos, you want to have enough lighting, make it more relevant. It creates interest in you, and it also builds trust with people when they get to see more about you and your business, who you are, what you do. This helps with building your brand and also adding that consistency. So videos that you create, you don't have to just share it once. Once you upload it, you can always share it later to your social media platforms, maybe every month or every 2 months, so that those who haven't seen it may see it and they will maybe find it interesting, and you'll also get more views in that way. And these videos that you add to YouTube, you can also add to your website. So that's also another nice feature. You can integrate it into your website, and because you can just embed it on your site, it doesn't take up too much bandwidth, and it doesn't take up too much space on your website. So it doesn't take long to load. That is very important. Plus, if you use any of Google's tools, they give you a better ranking on your website, which is great for SEO. Right, so that leads me on to your website. Your website, you've probably built it many years ago and you just left it. And because you left it for so long, it dropped in ranking. With the Google space or search engine space being so competitive, you have to update your website regularly if you want to be relevant. If you want your website to come up at the top, you're going to have to put a lot of work in. You can do this yourself, and it's easy to do. It just takes a lot of planning and a lot of time to do it. Now you can optimize each page of your website. Now on each page of your website, you need to decide on relevant keywords that you want to be found on, and then you optimize that specific page with that keyword. Now this is very important because SEO does matter. Search engine optimization does matter, especially if you want to be found. If you don't put this effort in, your website will just disappear. Unless you actually share your website with people, the actual website address, it's going to be difficult for anyone looking for your services to find it online. So you must invest in time when it comes to your website. Now, when you update your website, you can add different images to the different pages. Make sure you have the relevant images. Complete your About Us page. Sometimes I see that About pages have only like 2 lines or 3 lines. You want to make it relevant. And of course, add a blog section and write a blog and post videos to your website. And lastly, just make sure you have some client testimonials, what people have said about the services you've used and what you've done. So that adds some credibility and also builds some trust with the prospect who's considering buying from you. Okay, so that concludes my part on the marketing tools. Then I'm going to just hand it over to Chris.
Hello. Hi.
Hi.
Okay. Let me just find my material. Let me share a screen to there and share. Where are we? No, not that one. I must share screening. Can you see? All right, let me go here. All right. Okay, can you see a PowerPoint presentation there?
Yes.
Okay, so I was at the right place. All right.
Yes.
Okay. All right, my name is Chris Waugh. I'm the owner of Waugh Associates. My firm does accounting and tax, but we also work with independent reviews. And we also operate a tax clinic for those that can't afford taxes. Okay. Let me just quickly do this here, so I don't take too much time. Okay. All right. I've 10 years of experience in the industry. I am registered with the South African Institute of Business Accountants as a professional accountant and independent reviewer. I'm also registered with SARS and CIT as a tax practitioner. And I did my degree at the University of Johannesburg. Okay, so basically we are going to be discussing how to handle your cash flow wisely, especially in a COVID economy. The first is you have to monitor your cash flow on a regular basis. If you are a small business owner, the best way is either through QuickBooks Online or a free company called Wave Accounting that you can, sorry, just so that I can see here. All right. So that you can manage your money that's coming in as well as the expenses that are going out. If you're able to keep track of the expenses that are going out on a daily basis, as well as who owes you money, it's one way to keep a tight cash flow in the terms of budgets. By creating budgets or cash flow budgets of how much you're supposed to have per month, how much you're supposed to be spending per day, it should keep your cash flow on a strict minimum. All right. Next is to cut costs. So at the moment, you need to start looking at what you can live without, whatever your business can live without, and start cutting it out. By cutting your overheads, you should be able to manage your cash flow on a much better steed. If you are able to cut it back, there are some things that you are unable to cut back in terms of expenses. Say, for example, staff, rent, and utilities. You can sometimes cut it back, but sometimes you can't. You need to look at expenses that you no longer need, or maybe you can renegotiate terms in terms of your loans or your leases. You can extend your bond. You can ask for trading on your vehicle. just ways to bring you back into a new line of standard of living. The others one is to cash in on your assets. Is there something that you don't need? Is the inventory that's becoming obsolete? Get rid of it, sell it, give it to people that do buy from individuals and companies, and then they make a business of selling it out on a lease. Or give it to Gumtree, give it to OLX, and get some money out of it. Next thing is, and I know this is a very weird way of doing cash flow, but you make a business line of credit in terms of you go and get credit from the business, from the bank, or you get an overdraft from the bank. Sometimes you need to consolidate your debt, or you need to create debt just to temporarily get you out of trouble. I know it's oxymoron in the economy that we currently have in, but sometimes you need to get the bank to help you with just a little bit of debt or overdraft so that you can just get your cash flow problems under control, so that you're back where you were prior to COVID, so that when money comes in, all you're doing is just servicing the debt, which is a small debt, and you've got nothing else that needs to, where the money needs to go to in terms of expenses. Next one is that maybe you're in a different position where in order to generate cash flow, you need to increase your business. So you lease vehicles, computers, and other business equipment. A lot of people are going for working from home now. Some of them have been retrenched, so you've got to start figuring out how to make your own business. And people don't have the money to be able to start buying a full-scale operation in terms of working from home. So rather lease everything with the intention to own it one day, then buying everything, and then all your money is stuck in your computers and your vehicles, and you've got no money for day-to-day, such as petrol or the repairs to your printer. Okay. Next one, stay on top of invoicing. If you've already got clients that haven't paid you, then send invoices when the work is completed or when products are delivered, and then find out from that specific person their job title and address to send the invoices to, so they don't get lost in the shuffle from department to department. So find exactly who's responsible for making the payments and give the invoices to them. Design your invoices so straightforward and easy to read, with key areas like due date, amount due, where to send the payment, payment methods highlighted. This will speed up things even further by even emailing invoices instead of mailing them. If you keep chasing people for invoicing, they eventually will start paying. If you're on the road or in a pitch and a person needs an invoice, there are apps for the phone which are free, called Invoice to Me and InvoiceMatic. There's Invoice to Go. They're very simple. You don't need to register to put the information into a template. You generate a PDF and you can email it to a customer, especially if you've got a customer that needs an invoice now and can't wait till the afternoon when you're finished being on the road. Next one, get paid faster by using mobile payment solutions. If you sell products or services at people's homes or offices, get paid on the spot with a mobile app that uses your smartphone or tablet to accept payment by credit or debit card, or even use what is this, Zapper, where you can register for Zapper. There is a free account that you use. You put a code onto your invoice, they scan, they make the payment. It's like being at a restaurant. Speed payments by offering deals. Especially in this economy right now, you have to consider offering your customers incentives, such as a discount off the total for early payments. You just got to make sure that when you do something like this, you've got to ensure that getting paid early is worth the loss. So make sure that your loss is minimal in comparison to your maximum return that you're going to get. Also, it does help that you might get further work by doing that. We say, I'll give you a discount, but then also you can do more work with me because I'm more affordable. Next one is ask for deposits or partial payments on large orders or long-term contracts. If you're a website developer, a contractor, you might charge a deposit upfront before beginning to draw up the plans for the project, then charge half the remaining amount when the work begins and the balance upon completion. Charging this way, then you're able to generate cash upfront for the materials and pay the workers needed for the job as and when it happens. Also, make sure that if you do something like that, before you give the work over or you finish the contract, that the remaining balance is paid, or else you'll never get that money when you've handed over the website, the building, whatever work that you're in. Next one is delay payments to your vendors. Make phone calls to them, tell them your situation that you're in. So find out what are they prepared in terms of payments of existing debts. And if you need stock or building supplies, explain to the vendor, say, look, this is how much I'm willing to pay right now. If I get the money from the client, what can you do for me? So that's one thing. Make agreements with the vendors, with existing creditors, so that you don't get into trouble for not contacting them and saying to them, well, this is the situation that I am in. That's when banks get a little bit angry. Unless there's a worthwhile incentive for you to pay early for a supplier, figure out how late you can pay your vendors without risking late fees or harming your relationship. This keeps the cash in your account and out of your vendors until it absolutely has to be there. So then basically if you say to the guy, look, if you can give me 30-day terms or 60-day terms, or if I can pay you next Friday, by then I should have the money. But it's just giving you more time to make sure you've got the money. You've got enough, but it's enough to pay him and pay a few other people. And then look out for business credit cards with rewards, because this is the easiest form of cash flow as well. Look out for cards with rewards such as points that can be used towards your travel or business purchases. There is already banks, credit cards with Standard Bank, FNB that use points, eBucks, and that other one. But you can use it for shopping at hundreds of different stores. But you can use those points for when you need a printer cartridge, when you need a new travel bag, when you need petrol, because you can pay in points. So by keeping a good credit line, a small credit line for starters, one, you can pay for things that need to be paid for now, and you can recover that money from the client and then pay off your credit card. But in the same time, you earn points, so you can use those points to further your business purchases, such as when you need petrol, or when you need to expand the business and you need a new computer. You've got the points to go and buy it directly from someone that accepts points. Also, in addition to a cushion for lean times, business credit cards also categorize your purchases. So it's easier to track expenses, because that links back to being able to import that information into your accounting software. And then from there, you can see where you're going wrong on projects or with clients, why you're making not enough money on a specific job, or you just to track what are you doing per day, because it's very easy to take a card, swipe it 6 million times, and before you know it, you've blown 2K in the afternoon, but that wasn't really necessary. But it's because you were on the road or you were in a rush between meetings. So you weren't thinking clearly on the purchases you were making between stores. Staying on top of your cash flow is a key to business success. So don't let cash flow put you in a money crunch. All it takes are smart moves to keep your company in the black. So the number one way to keep your cash flow under control is keep 2 budgets, but realistic budgets. Figure out what look at past months spending. And after you've cut everything out that's not necessary and you've gone to the bare minimum, if that's the amount that you need to spend per month in order to have the ability to stay alive, feed the family, and also to grow the business, then that is your budget on a monthly basis from an expense perspective. But also at the same time, that is your target when you are doing business, to say, this is the amount of invoicing or money I need to bring in per month in order to cover these expenses. And if it's not enough, then you have to really look at who are you doing business with? Are they able to afford your services? Are you advertising to the correct clientele that can afford your services and are interested in what you do? Or are you still overspending and you're just missing there's something that you're not, when you look at your expenses, you think it's a necessity, but actually you're still overspending. And that's my presentation. Over to Chanre.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you for that. That was informative.
No, it's a pleasure.
Yeah, it was. That was great, actually. A few tips I think I can use as well.
All right, I'll send you the thing now, so you got it for notes.
Yeah, thank you very much. Now, I just want to end off. Can you just tell us a bit more about exactly the type of services you offer? Like, if you just give us a brief breakdown. Is it bookkeeping? Just tell us a bit more about the bookkeeping, your annual financial statements, those services that you provide, taxes.
Okay, so the services that I provide are, we assist with BEE affidavits, BEE certificates. We aid with tax credit certificates and also with helping businesses to become tax compliant. We help with managing clients with their monthly accounting so that we can help them with management accounts so that they can see if their cash flow is going in the right direction or if it's going in the negative direction. We also help with just trying to think. We also help with registering companies, deregistering companies, and with maintaining your company at Zapper in terms of changing directors, changing the name, changing the shares that you have with each of the other directors. We also help with shareholder agreements, where agreements need to be in place so that the shareholders can run the business properly. We help with mergers and acquisitions. And we also help with UIF in terms of submitting to UIF on a monthly basis, doing the taxes to SARS for VAT and pay-as-you-earn, but also for UIF for the assistance for TERS, and also for if there is injuries on duties, then we work with that and workman's compensation for the letter of good standing and the returns that need to be made on a yearly basis with the injury on duty reports.
Thank you, Chris. Okay, so if I'll
no problem. And then we still got the tax clinic, which we help people for free who can't help themselves.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's great. Okay, so thank you for that. And I'll just quickly give a brief as to what we do as well. So we provide social media marketing. We create the posts, the ads, the content, the full strategy for you so that you can have a month-to-month plan and know what's going to happen with your social media every month. So we build your brand and we create leads, generate leads and inquiries for your business through those social media marketing packages that we provide. And we have different packages that suit different budgets. Then we also have a website design service where you can either have an option to build a once-off website or a monthly service where we update your website for you on a monthly basis. So if you want to have that SEO-rich website, you can come to us. That is the service that we provide for you, in addition to graphic design services. And there's a corporate image package that's also specifically designed for businesses that have just started. That includes your logo, your business cards, your email signature, and company letterhead. So you can get started on the right footing when you get started with your business. Build your brand from the very first day. So that is what we do at the Chanre Marketing and Promotions. I've just included our email addresses so that you can get in touch with us if you so wish. So I hope that this presentation was informative and interesting, and at least gets you to think about your marketing the right way and to think about how to manage your cash flow during these times. So thank you very much, and that will be the end of our presentation. Thank you, Chris, for your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
You too, no problem.
Great.
I definitely did learn something. So yes, I'm going to look at my cash flow again and look what I don't need and cancel everything that I don't need.
Cancel everything.
Yes, cancel everything. Except the water and electricity and the rent. No, that we can't cancel.
Yeah, there's certain things you can't really cancel, but at least you can manage it in a way that you can at least get through the month.
That's true. That's true. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The file's been uploaded to the Zoom meeting if you guys want to download it before you go.
Thank you.
From my side.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Have a nice day. Bye.
Bye.